Oh my god, you guys. I just saw the greatest movie. Well, I mean, like, it wasn't the greatest movie, but it was right up there, and I think we should talk about it. What do you say?
Lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea.
I just finished watching Ready or Not, directed by the same guys that brought us VHS, which, oh my god, if you haven't seen that movie, that is a movie that you have to see ASAMFP, because it is not only spoopy, but it will leave you with a, I definitely have to sleep with the light on's friggin' sense, but we're not talking about that movie tonight, we're talking about Ready or Not. This movie stars Samara Weaving as a bride in a scenario that, if, to be honest, I saw 10 minutes into, probably would have turned my heels and ran, but she's a dedicated lady, and I gotta give her credit for that. In this movie, she is just getting into the beginning of the ceremony, attaching her to this man, whom she loves dearly. And as she's slowly introducing herself to the family, she starts to notice slightly creepy things that most people would just like chalk it up as to like, oh, my new family is just so quirky and weird. But it starts to kind of peer on her, because there's a great aunt that's just got, you know, the same kind of hairdo I have. It's just like all up and pointy, but it's white, and she looks like a Disney villain, just sitting there all menacingly and like staring at her. And everybody else kind of introduces themselves and kind of brings them up to be like a semi-normal person. But as the night goes on, her fiance, new husband-to-be, was groom fella who, oh god, for the life of me, I can't believe, red flags everywhere, creepy aunt, I would have ran. But later on in the night, he convinces her that there's a family tradition that everybody goes through whenever there's a wedding, and she has to take part in it, and they all play a little game, and oh my god, it's so cute, and she agrees. And when they go and they meet up, they go into this very elaborate room full of like hunting equipment and big giant huge guns and stuff, and then like stuff on the walls and all kinds of other crazy stuff. And she sits down, and they explain that their great ancestor made a deal with a man on a boat whom they believe gave him a box containing what they have understood to be the secret to their financial success. And they made a deal with this man, or I mean like their ancestor made a deal with this man, that in order to keep their financial success, every time an addition of the family occurs, like a wedding, they have to play this game, the new initiate, I guess they called it. And if they have to play hide and seek, they have to find a place to hide till daylight, I think it was. And if they survive, they get to be part of the family. And if not, they kind of don't let anybody know, but the secret is they don't really live too long. So, I mean, even the movie opens, without having to go too far back into the beginning of this video, the movie opens with a guy just absolutely getting skewered. And I don't really want to, like, beat in and, like, have a lot of spoilers, but it's the beginning of the movie. You can see it by accident. Her wife's following the crowd. He gets corped by an arrow and hits the ground, and a kid calls him out, like, he's in here! He's in here! And they end up following him down, and sure enough, they drag him into a room, and it ends up being this big ritual thing, and he dies, obviously. But you have to wonder, like, who was the bride, and what was going on, and why did they have crazy masks on? But to talk about this poor little gal, she ends up accidentally hiding in a room where she runs into her husband, who pulls her aside as one of the maids walks in looking for her. Somebody blows the maid's brains out, mistaking her for the bride, and it spawns this whole, like, oh my god, I'm gonna get killed, and she has to fight for her life and run. And, I mean, to be honest, like, it's a suspenseful movie, but it has a lot of, do you remember Clue from the 80s, and how kooky everything was? There was a lot of slapstick involved in the murder. It follows that line. She has to get out and save herself, but this family is kind of brain dead, like, just ritzy, pritzy people, so they don't really know how to kill people, and it's kind of awkward, and there's, you know, new rich nieces that are really kooky, and they just can't fly commercial. They have to have their own jet, and she can't hold onto a gun to save her life and blows the family away almost every time she has one. And there's all these kooky twists and turns, and it falls with an ending that you did not see coming. Because as far as they understand, the deal that they made with this fella involves them dying in sunrise. So, I mean, in order to fully understand how just amazing it is that she has to go through what she goes through, and she goes through a lot, you have to watch it from beginning to end. So I'm completely suggesting that this movie be seen. Because from my perspective, horror movies don't have to be gory and terrible. Sometimes you have to just see what people go through, and she goes through a lot. In order to stay out of sight and stay hidden, she goes through a lot of ew moments. And I wouldn't personally, I probably would have just given up. Like, I quit, that's it, I'm done, you can take me away, I'm good, let's win, you win, hide and seek, I suck, yes. But that's just my opinion. I'm tiny and blue, and she could actually like run fast and duck, and she seemed really smart. That's a thing that I love in heroine movies. When the woman is involved in saving her own life, she becomes a badass, not relying on some clunky dude. I'm surprised they didn't do that. The husband's involvement in the movie, as far as storyline goes, is literally to connect her to the family. So I wouldn't necessarily say he had a pivotal role. When I watch movies, I try not to watch them for a specific trait. I don't go for gory or creepy or suspenseful, just like all in its own thing. I want it to be all-encompassing. I want it to wrap all the way around into a nice little neat tasty package that I can swallow and enjoy in a nice little sitting. And this movie has one contained story that from beginning to end kept me involved, and I can't wait to finish the rest of this month and see what kind of spoopy things these movies have to show me, as well as the games coming. Like and subscribe to my channel for more upcoming movie and video game reviews, because I'm going to scare the pants off of myself for your entertainment pleasure, and I can't wait to do it because there's a lot of good choices that we got picked out this month. Hope to see you then. Until, I'm Nobody, I love your face, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye. Which, by the way, if you haven't, like and subscribe.